Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and I'm playing Empires of the Middle Ages. Well, the game already starts to drag on a little bit. But we are just in the turn, or in the year 871. So it's the last round of the game turn here. And we probably see this small empire destroyed pretty soon. And apart from that, maybe the Irish player manages to conquer whole Britain. That's probably the main things of interest we're going to see. Lots of ruling will happen down here. Maybe the Byzantine player manages to take back Asia Minor, and also some of these areas here. Sicily is in a very bad state, so that will need some ruling. Same with Naples here. Yeah, so I guess we'll just continue this, and I'll keep you updated what happens. So at the beginning of each round, I roll a 10-sider, and this time I rolled a 10, and that means we see a scoring round. So the points will be counted now and written down, and I'm going to add this up all through the game. I don't know if that is pretty important, but that might influence players to gang up and maybe try to attack some of the more powerful guys or something. I think it's more interesting if you have this, where you accumulate points during the game, than if you play for 50 hours and then at the very end of the game you get your points no matter what happened before, just simply on the situation where you are at that point. In some games that can work, I think, but the problem here is that there is so much randomness and so many things change, like the leader dies airless, or the empire is split or something. So you could easily lose, I don't know, half of your empire or a big chunk of it. And you were very powerful once in the game, and then you lose a ton of stuff and so on. So I think it's more interesting to say we score points in between and we will add them up. So I'm going to use these victory conditions here. Each player receives a number of victory points for each area in their empire at the end of the game in which they could currently undertake a ruling endeavor. Okay. Disregarding their leader's statue. I'm not sure how you... Oh, maybe if you're not connected to that area, you cannot do an endeavor there. So yeah, that's possible. However, if there are a limited number of sea spaces, it's still okay. So these would count, I guess. Thus, players receive victory points only for those exactly connected. The number of points awarded for each area is determined in the following way. The current social state level of the area is added to 3. Okay, so it can be also subtracted. 3 points for each area they possess at the end of the game which they have a claim. Okay, and we already did the conversion and the colonization. One player did a successful conversion, the Byzantine player, so they already start with 5 points here. And then I'm going to do the counting, and we'll see how players are doing. I mean, obviously the green player and the yellow player will be doing horribly. The others maybe not so bad, or they might be kind of even, but that's going to be interesting. I think the white player might also have some problems for now. Okay, so no too big shock here. The Byzantine player lies ahead, which wasn't so sure for me actually, with 61 points. Green player is at 23. So, well, I mean, that's definitely not a lot, but there wasn't too much to expect. These are worth not much. He only has 3 claims, so he's definitely behind. The blue player is at 50, this guy here. White player, 39. Orange player only at 12, so he's last. And the red player is at 40. So let's see, it's blue 61, 50, the other blue guy, white 40. No, yeah, red 40, white 39, green 23, orange 12. Okay, well, what makes it a little interesting is that players might be more urged to do diplomatic actions because the claims give you victory points, and well, most of these players didn't care about their new gained areas to get claims about them, so therefore they maybe wasted some victory points here. It's hard to tell. But that makes now a lot of sense. That is something you might not be too interested in the normal game, maybe just really at the very end. But the claims themselves, I mean, I don't have a feeling they are terribly valuable. The ties seem to be more valuable than the actual claim in a way. Okay. So I'm going to start that turn now. Okay, I taxed my country and I had to use 3 of my actions to get rid of all the unrest that I have here. So I couldn't tax Friesland, for example. They were in a pretty bad shape. Actually, therefore, I should have had 1 less buck. So now I'm doing definitely better. Well, not much better. There was also a Viking raid, by the way, at the beginning of the round. So again, Mercia went down, Castile went down, Friesland went down. But now I want to focus on this war here. I got 2 cards left and the other guy doesn't have any money to defend himself. So I might now maybe be able to capture Verona if I'm a little lucky here. However, it's going to be pretty expensive. Oh, I could have done an unrest, a ruling action here too. But anyway, so I'm going to attack from here. So I end up, my rating is a 3, so I end up with a 0 here. I attack here, so that's a -1. Different language, so I'm at -3. So I have to pay 2 bucks for the attack. And then, shit. I mean, -3. Got 7 bucks left. Do I want to hope for a lucky shot, or do I say, okay, I'm going to throw it all in? I think I'm going to throw it all in. So that means I am then at 4, right? Yeah. So let's see what we get. Oh, fuck it. That's a 5, man. Well, at least the target drops down. That's a good thing in this case. So that is now at 0. But, I mean, I'm going to count again, but I'm pretty sure I was only at 4. Yeah, indeed, I was only at 4. So this was just not enough. But yeah, as I said, at least I managed to bring this down a little bit. So I got now 1 card left. I might use that card maybe for a pillage attempt. So let me see how that works out, and that shouldn't be so terribly hard. I think basically the social state, I think I got a... Yeah, exactly. active leaders, determination, social... No, wait a minute here. And population, yeah. Okay, so we have combat value of 3, minus 3 is 0, population, so that brings it up to 2 then. We got to subtract 0 because of this court value, and then I think we got to add 2 because of the same religion. Yeah, so that means we are exactly at 0 here, so we can do it. We're just not supposed to have any negative value. And, well, it didn't work out. Great. Actually, we will even lose in the active base, but that's not happening. Still, I have to roll here for rebellion option. And that's a 4. But I'm pretty sure we're good there. Yeah, no problems here. So no successes this turn, but we are now a little better doing here, so maybe I can try it again next turn. I mean, sooner or later, if he doesn't receive money from anybody, and there is actually no reason anymore now, the Byzantine player, he wants to save now some money. He invested a lot in this guy, and in the end it didn't turn out to be too great. There was then just the threat that he could do do a lot of conquest and become that big empire for himself. So in the end, the Byzantine player says, now, okay, I don't care anymore. One of these guys will win sooner or later, so it doesn't really matter. So we've entered a new game round. The year is 976 now. We've seen a Saracen raid against Cordova, but the player used all but one card to defend himself, and in the end he took no damage at all. Saracens were not so super strong. They had a leader with 5. Compared to the Vikings, these times, this is pretty weak. The Vikings come with a leader of 9. It always depends on that table. Where is it? I don't know really. Here we go. So they had, during the last decades, this leader of 9, while the Saracens only had a leader of 5. And now there's also a magnet here. In Hungary he showed up. And he's going to attack Bohemia. And that can be now a little dangerous. In the end, that might become dangerous for this guy here, because he will then attack Bavaria. So that's bad news for the German player once again. He doesn't have any money to defend himself. Therefore, yeah, that kind of sucks here. So we see the attack. The magnet has a 5. Minus 2 is a 3. And he's going to attack a different, it's going to be a different language and a different religion. So he cannot attack, he has to pillage first. So he ends up with a 3 pillage value. And we see how that works out. That brings down this area by 1. And we're going to see another pillage action, I guess. Well, although now he might also go against Volhynia or Serbia. So that means now we got to roll. 1, 2, 3. And he attacks Serbia. So maybe good news for the German player. So let me see, we have again a... Is a battle possible? I don't think so. It's a 3. Well, maybe it is now possible. It's a 3. It would be a +1, so it would go up to a 4. And then we would subtract 2 for the... So he would be at 0. So now he will do an attack against Serbia. And we will see what happens here. And that is a successful conquest result. The target drops down 1 more space. Oh, shit. So they are at -2 here. And that means the magnet gets that one too, and there will be unrest, of course. Okay. And now it's again the poor Byzantine player who has to face this guy, because his areas are clearly the best, so there might be a pillage attempt against Adrianople, but maybe that's not even possible here. We'll see. Well, actually it is. The magnet has a value of 3, and then this, I mean -2 here, and then this 3 of Adrianople is subtracted. But there are no negative pillage modifiers, because in pillaging, religion and the same religion and the same... a different religion and a different language has no negative modifier. You don't want to pillage your own people. So therefore it's a 0, and now the Byzantine player is going to defend himself. He's going to pay a buck, reduce the magnets. Let me see, did I do that right? Yeah. Okay, and the magnet cannot... Oh, wait a second. Actually, seems I messed... That's kind of strange. Well, that card would have killed the magnet because of this leader check. However, I wonder why I already used 2 cards. Oh yeah, because the first one was that pillage action in Bohemia. So that's it, actually. We're done here. It's the pillage action in Bohemia, and that alone killed the magnet. Okay, so sorry for all that. It wasn't necessary. I think everybody was kind of lucky here. Only Bohemia lost 1 social state. Well, bad luck for the yellow player here. There was a year of famine here in the area, so it dropped down. He had to rule to bring it up again, so he couldn't use his actions to actually try to do a real attack here. And this guy here managed to take Cilicia, but of course the area is now in a pretty bad shape. That area also lost a point, so that will also take some ruling actions to become strong again. Apart from that, we have here the unrest left, so let's hope nothing too bad happens there. And that's pretty much all that happened in the turn. Bad news for the Irish player. Leader dies airless. Luckily only in the areas not of his language, but this is still pretty painful because these are good areas. So first, yeah, we got to check now for rebellion. Okay, so let's start with Northumbria. That is a 5. I'm pretty sure this is okay. Yeah, it is. Mercia, a 4. Yeah, that's also good. Is it? Oh shit, I'm not sure if that's good. Wait a minute. The unrest alone is already a 5. I really don't understand why these guys are not on the same paper. It's ridiculous. The rebellion value summary and the table. So it's a 5. it's a different language, so that brings it to 7. And okay, that's it. It's at 7, and I rolled a 4, didn't I? I think I rolled a 4, yeah. So that's a problem, I think, because that means we see a rebellion. Yeah, wow, that sucks. So he loses this area. That's very painful for him. And shit, that's very bad. And we're gonna roll for the cathedral. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure the cathedral will go away. There are no neutral cathedrals. So I guess the cathedral is simply destroyed because of the looting. And that is a shame, of course. And then we got to roll for Wessex here. Yeah, that's fine. But losing Mercia was definitely very bad. Okay, I wonder what... that is gone away anyway. Okay, so... yeah, I think we gotta try to fight back here. We have a little bit of money. And Mercia has a population value of 0. So we could attack from Wales. Yeah, I got the tactical systems here. So I'm in a pretty good shape. I think I want to try that. I'm gonna throw in $2. That brings me then to 3. No, that's not true. I'm at 1. Plus 3, my combat value is 4. Plus 3 for the systems is 7. Minus 2 for that stuff. Brings me to 5. I'm gonna throw in another buck to go to 6. And then hope for the best. Fuck. Wow, that's painful. I've needed a 7. Let me count again, but I think that looks bad. Wait a minute, I'm not sure if I did count that one. So I have a 3. Paid a buck, so I'm at 4. That is a 5. Look at that. Yeah, I don't know. The tactical systems give me 3 more. So that is then an 8, right? But I gotta subtract 2. 1 for this and 1 for the different language. Actually 2 for the language. Holy shit. So no chance here, no. That means that the base will also lose 1, I think. Yeah, that's bad. Shit. Okay. And that means I gotta roll again for rebellion. That's a 4. I'm pretty sure I'm fine here. Yeah, no unrest in Wales. But I don't have any money. I mean, still, I could tax. I could rule and tax, maybe go another shot. But maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I should wait and start. Oh, actually, I think the tactical systems go away. Yeah, they do. Shit. It's all not looking good. Poor green player. He was just improving a little bit, and now he has to deal with this shit. So I'm going to do some ruling actions, I guess. Try to get rid of the unrest and maybe improve Wales a little bit. Maybe I can try another attack in the next turn then. So we have a pretty crazy event here, a comet. All players must discard all event cards they currently hold in their hands. Then they pick an equal number of events cards from the deck. This does not affect cards currently face up. So, yeah, that means a lot of chaos will happen now. Every player has at least 2 cards. Most of them have 3. So we're going to see a lot of things happening. I'm not going to go through everything in detail, but yeah, we'll see. If there's something of interest, I'm going to let you know. Okay, we have a leader dice airless for the blue player. That could lead to some problems here. First of all, oops, this thing goes away. And by the way, the green player, the Irish guy, received this card here, the enlargement of the king's personnel. What is it called? I think domains. Domain, something like that. Domain. So that means that I think it's spelled domain. A viewer actually wrote what it meant. It's simply basically the ownings, the land of the player, and it grew, and therefore he gets now an extra buck. For the most player, that's not terribly interesting, but for him it's super valuable because he only gets a single buck, so that's basically now double the income. That is pretty awesome. But it gets lost if you die heirless, so that means that this thing is discarded. In addition, he has now each area in his empire is affected by this shit. So I'm not gonna place, well actually I can, why not? I'm gonna place an unrest marker everywhere here. And so this is really a mess. And then I gotta roll 1,000 times, and it is easily possible that there will be rebellions here, so he might be busy quite a while now to restore his empire. Okay, now let's see. We start in Flanders. Okay, that looks very bad. That looks very bad. Let's see. We have a 5, -1 for the different language, or +1 actually, so it's a 6. We can subtract 2, so that brings us to a 4 there. Because of the fortification, 1 or 2 are subtracted. Yeah, so it's a 4. So we were still lucky, it's just unrest. Champagne. Well, there it looks better now. I mean, the main, you never know. That's good. The main risk are these of a different language, but there were fortifications. Normandy. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, but it's the same. It's a, well, actually, that is a 5. Because there are no fortifications. Let's see. Still good. The court is fine. Anjou, fine. Burgundy, fine. Aquitaine, fine. We have Toulouse. Oh yeah, okay, fine. And Provence. And it looks like he was lucky. Still a lot of work to do here to get this all straight. Okay, we see chaos in Central Europe. Not only that guy here died heirless, but now also this guy here does. In addition, we have years of famine in all these regions. So this is basically all at -3. Horrible regions here. But what is still really interesting are these regions up here. So if this guy should die for some reason, I will allow him to start up over here, and then he's in a pretty good shape. But I mean, from a player point of view, it would be reasonable to die. But I will let him fight on. I mean, I'm gonna, you know, it's not. I'm not going for the points here. Okay. Now let's see. And actually I think the diplomatic ties of this guy should have been removed. There was only 1, but yeah, when a leader dies, you have to remove the diplomatic ties. Okay, so again we have now some unrest markers here, and that will definitely give this player the chance to maybe hold on, maybe even come back, depending on how it all turns out. Okay, so we got to roll again. Wait a minute, this is not true. In this case, it's only not of the leader's not of the leader's language. So it's actually not that bad. I think here, yeah, it's not quite as bad. So we got to roll for Friesland. Oh fuck, that's a rebellion. That's pretty bad. That was an important area for him. Is it? Yeah, it's a rebellion, absolutely. We have a value here of 5. -2 is 3, but different religion. So yeah, Friesland will become independent, and they also will keep their castle. Or is it reduced by 1? I gotta check that. But they definitely will become independent. So, yeah, that's bad news here. It's a +2. Okay. There we go. Very bad. And what about the Lombardy? They're fine. So here unrest remains. I'm not sure if I have to check for these. Probably not. No. But I lose the claim here. And these were definitely bad news for me. I got a roll for my new leader though. Maybe I'm lucky here. So let's see what the combat rating does. Oh, look at that. Now that is awesome. That is great. That should be a 9, I guess. Yeah, no, shit it isn't. It's a 5 only. Still, it's not bad. It's definitely an improvement here. And the administration, that's also okay. From a 3, it probably remains a 3, but no, it also goes up to a 5. Holy shit. That is good. That is definitely great. And diplomacy, well, that's an 8 from a 2. That might also increase if I'm lucky. Yeah, that also... Holy shit, this goes also to a 5. This is an amazingly good leader now. I think it might be even the best leader of the game at the moment. Very, very good. 3 times a 5. Fantastic guy. So overall it might have helped him. It's a shame about Friesland. But yeah, maybe in the end it wasn't that bad for him. And indeed, the fortifications here are destroyed. So, or they are reduced by 1, but in this case they are destroyed. Not that great. Okay, I'm gonna continue drawing cards here. Diplomatic coup for this guy, and his third card is, what is that? The thematic system, whatever that means. It's about Constantinople. Okay, so I'm going to continue now with the next player, and we'll see what happens there. Again, the Muslim leader also dies heirless. In this case, the situation isn't terrible. It's only Aragon which is affected, because it's also only about the ones that are not of the leader's language. And he also doesn't have a... well, but his leader wasn't too bad, actually. So let's see. That could be a problem. However, there is a fortification that could save us here. Let's see, we have a 5. In addition to that, it's an unrelated religion, an unrelated language, so we are at 6. But we can subtract 2, which brings us to a 4. And yeah, we're good. No problems here. The unrest, of course, remains, but there won't be a rebellion. Okay, and I also have to roll for the new leader, which I'm going to do off camera. So the Italian guy managed to build fortifications in the areas. He also did successful ruling actions. So these two areas are pretty potent, although here's an unrest at the moment because of the taxation. Now it's going to be the German player, and again we might see an attack here, but first there will be we're going to try to get rid of the unrest in Franconia, and that didn't work out. Actually, we might see a rebellion there. No, that is a 10. No, that's not a rebellion, luckily. I'm going to try it again. This time it worked. So this goes away. And I'm going to try it in Bavaria now. And that's also good enough to get rid of the unrest. So I can do now a taxation in these two areas here. Franconia. That's okay, I guess. And Bavaria. And that should be also fine. So that gives me overall $7. And I can try now to attack Verona again, but it's not going to be easy. I got 2 cards left, so they got to be both successful. But if I attack from here, it's pretty bad, obviously. We got a -3, a -6, a -8. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. So if I spend $2, I will end up at -3. So I have to spend at least $5 to do an attack. Is it worth it? I don't know, man. This looks pretty bad. The other guy also has quite a bunch of money. Oh boy. Well, I don't think I want to do it. I think I'm going to attack Friesland instead. Try to re-get that before the other guy does. So I'm going to attack from Lorraine. And my odds are pretty good here. Yeah, I did that. So I captured that back. And I get... It comes with a value of 2. At least no losses here in the target area. And then I'm going to do a ruling action there. And that was a success, actually. Pretty good. So that means that the unrest goes away. And I think I have to just continue and try to build up my economy. And maybe sooner or later I can crush these guys, but at the moment I simply can't do it. We've seen another monastic revival. So players received again cathedrals, every player. And now we see an epidemic in Spain. And that means every area with a positive population value is reduced by 1. So these two areas drop down 1 space. That's not great. Okay. And then I guess this guy, I mean, he has a terrible leader. But I think he still will try some ruling actions. There's not a lot. He's got to get rid of the unrest in Granada and in Aragon, basically. Okay, don't know if I've shown you that, but this leader died when defending himself, and now he has a combat rating of 9, or the new leader has a combat rating of 9, which is obviously amazing. And also his administration rating is at 5. So, I guess what I want to do is, I want to try to rule here in Lombardy to get rid of the unrest and maybe increase the value here a little bit. So maybe then I can start doing some trouble in the other areas from here. But it's gonna be hard. Let me see, I got, my ruling value. I got a pretty bad, it's a 5, minus 2 is a 3, minus 2 for the language is only a 1. So I guess spending a bit of money could be an interesting idea here. Maybe I should spend $4 to increase this to a 4. And then I'm going to flip this card. And yeah, it raised by 1. So that is good. This goes away. And, I'm considering doing a pillage action now, maybe in, although that's going to be hard, but I could think about it, in Verona. I have a massive rating, so I should be successful there. So let's see. I got a, I definitely want to bring this down. So I have a 9, minus 1 is an 8, plus 2 is a 10. And then I gotta subtract 3, I guess, so I'm at 7. Okay, so let's see if it works out. And actually it doesn't. Shit. So the base drops down again. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Holy shit. I think I want to try it again. I wonder if I can do an attack now. I mean, the other guy doesn't have, well, he has a few cards to defend himself. But this is going to be very hard. I'm going to try again to pillage. And this time I was successful. This drops down by 1. And I'm going to continue pillaging there. And again, this drops down by 1. So this is really now a long-term strategy. But maybe after a while it will do the job. Well, in the last years not too much of interest actually happened. Here we have this continuous fight. There was a year of famine. He had to restore everything, so he couldn't attack here. And after all, his leader actually died, so he ends now again up, his combat rating is no longer 9, but only 5. Still a pretty decent leader, 5-3-5. But yeah, this might take a while here. Maybe he should focus more on ruling, maybe even go east a little bit. Although these areas are so tempting, if we can capture them here, then he's really in a fantastic situation. Now, this guy basically also improved his empire. He's got these 2 pretty weak areas here, Trebizond and Cilicia. The green player managed to get back Mercia and is in an okay shape actually. And even Scotland looks a little better now. The only problem in his empire is Wessex, but there he has a cathedral. Maybe he can improve that. The Muslim player is doing really good. I think he actually is in the best shape right now. He might not have the most points because he doesn't hold quite as many areas as the Byzantine player does. I mean, by far not that many. But his areas are really in a fantastic shape. Only a single negative area, Valencia. He just conquered that. But we have here +2 in Portugal. +2 in Granada, +3 in Aragon, +2 Castile, +3 Cordoba, and here a 0. So this is a very, very healthy empire. There is no doubt about that. Now the Frankish, or the French player ended up with some problems in this turn. There is actually a rebellion here in Burgundy. He had a lot of unrest. He could not deal with all of it, and therefore he had now the problem here with this rebellion. Okay, so the Byzantine player decides it's time to increase my empire, to let it grow. He could continue trying to improve these areas, trying to rule there. I mean, they are also worth no points at the moment. Same thing here and there. But right now he has a pretty good combat leader. So he thinks, hey, maybe it's better to say I'm going to grab maybe these areas here, Bulgaria, Serbia, Croatia. As long as I have that good leader, maybe I can try even some conversion attempts or something. And then we'll see how it all turns out. So I'm going to make an attack from Adrianople against Bulgaria first. Going to spend $2. Now that's pretty easy. I have a combat rating of 5, +3 is 8, +2 is 10, and then I have to subtract 4, so I'm at 6. I guess that's going to be good enough. Let's see. And it is. And the target loses another one, I'm afraid. So it's now at -3, which is not great, of course. But this one doesn't. Oh, actually, it's now my area. So let's see if I find a -3 marker here. They might be already gone. Yeah, probably. Okay, so let's place a combination in here. I mean, obviously this isn't worth anything right now. But hey, and I'm going to do a rule action there. And that's okay. Doesn't go up, but the unrest goes away. Maybe I should have invested a little bit there, but okay. Then I'm going to attack Serbia, also from Adrianople. Cost me $2 to do this. So it's again 8, 9, -4 is a 5. I'm going to throw in another $2. So I'm at 7. Actually, I also have, I have the weapons advance. I forgot about that. So I'm going to keep my $2. And that is good enough. Sadly, again, the target loses another one. But I can take Serbia. And we have unrest, but I'm going to rule there right away. And that's good, but my leader dies, which isn't that great. But Serbia is improved by 1, which is not bad. And the unrest is gone. Now these are all pagan areas, but we can try. Maybe I want some specific markers here to memorize that. So this is pagan. And that is pagan. And these ones too. And this is even a different language than that one, but hey. Okay. So we see, I mean, maybe I might even move up further. Could try to go to Wallachia, and there are some interesting areas here in the east. Really some very, very potent areas. So that's also an interesting point here. So we ended up with a fantastic leader, 3 times a 5. Now first I want to play the recognition of claim here, and that gives me then a claim in Serbia, which also means additional points, of course. And I'm considering establishing a diplomatic tie with Bulgaria, maybe. So I think I want to try that. So I'm going to spend $1. And my base in this case is my court. And I got a ridiculous high rating there because this is actually subtracted here, so it's very, very good. And that is also a tie. And in addition, if you have a tie and possess the area, you get a claim. So we also have now here a tie and a claim to Bulgaria. That's pretty good. A few additional points here again. And we might now considering definitely some ruling actions. We have a few areas here in a pretty bad shape, and we absolutely want to rule these. Yeah, so, but I kind of like that. And I might also considering to do a conversion attempt, especially here in Bulgaria, for example. There it seems not too hard to do, I guess. And although, yeah, I think it's not too bad there, because it already is completely down, so there is not too much to lose when it comes to status losses or something. So I might do it in Bulgaria. And remember, if I can convert Bulgaria to Christianity, and I already have a tie there, which helps me there too, then the other areas here, Serbia and Croatia, is also converted. So I would get 15 points for that, which is definitely cool then. Okay, so that was the player number 4, and I just do the taxing here, and we see what happens then. The Irish player was very, very lucky in improving and ruling here. He managed to bring Wessex from -3 to +2 in a single turn. That's really strong. And he gained now quite a bit of money, actually. He ended up with, after taxation, with $8. This is pretty good, actually. And he really went a long way from just a few total crappy areas to a nice little kingdom now. That is pretty impressive. A little bit, that reminds me a little bit to the Spains, although they are doing even better here. Well, this guy, in the end, he said, okay, I'm not going to attack here. This is all not looking too promising. I am trying to improve my kingdom, trying to get more money, and even maybe going east or north. But these areas, I don't know, they're so hard to take. With the higher population value, the fortresses, the good state, social state, this is really hard to take. And therefore, maybe, although I'm not sure, but maybe I will wait and try to improve the rest of my empire. There are some areas here, Switzerland, Lombardy is a very rich area potentially. I can bring this to up to +4, but at the moment it's in a very bad state. Swabia. So there is definitely still something to gain here. And yeah, we are now at the end of the 9th century. It's the year 900 now. And the next turn will then bring us to 901. So I guess this is a good time to load this up. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a slow game, right? It's not like there is a lot of action going on here. Developments are very, very slow. And Most of it is just keeping the state of the empire stable, improving it a little bit, trying to get it a little prosper, claiming the areas of the empire, and so on. But okay, I mean, that's the nature of the game, and hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.